I'm working on a role-playing serious game and need to be able to have customizable characters in my game. So using the Unreal Engine, though this same process will work with Unity or Godot or whatever tool that you're using, I've got some basic characters. The first character I've got in there is from Amber, which is part of the Character Creator pack, and I can add morph targets very easily to this. Now the character's already brought into the Unreal Engine, and I've set up a couple of morph targets for her. I can adjust her nose, make it a little bigger. There you can see it is getting a little larger there. We can give her some more weight so that she's a little heavier or actually even skinnier. So we've got a lot of different controls on her. Let's walk through the process real quickly of how to do that. So Amber needs a friend. We're going to give her Chad. So I can go into Chad. First thing that you need to do is save Chad and export him to the iClone. iClone is what's used for creating your morph targets the easiest way. So we're going to send it to iClone, and then we're going to set up the morph targets. Now, morph targets do need to be done in Character Creator, not in iClone. iClone's where we're going to merge it all. So let's say I've got Chad here, and we need to give a couple of changes to. Do not change anything that's going to affect the skeleton, such as the character's height, the length of their legs, the length of their arms, things like that. But you can change other things to give them different appearances. I have found that in my experimentation that you cannot change things like hair color. That would have to be with a different morph process. But if you want to change how they look, have them different weights and body fat, things like that. So let's make Chad here a little heavier. There we go. And we could even go a little more still. And then once you have that, you need to export that as an iAvatar. And it's recommended when you're working with more higher resolution characters, go ahead and set your max texture a little higher. And we're going to save Chad, and this is going to be his weight morph. And we'll undo that because I want to get a couple of different changes to how he looks. Let's change his head and give him a bigger nose. So we're going to up the nose scale again. File, import or export iAvatar. Change the texture. Export this. Now this is only changing the mesh on the characters, so it's not a problem at all. So Chad nose. Make sure you're consistent in your naming, that you're going to be using these names later on when you're inside your game engine. And so we'll undo that. Before I've done his nose, let's do maybe bigger ears. Just small things that allow us to personalize characters then inside the game engine. So again, there's 3. So let's jump over then to the iClone, and I'm in iClone 8 here. Here's the base Chad character. Don't have to do any saving or anything special yet. Click on the motion tab, and then you can go to your morph creator, and that'll open up the morph creator window, and we can add our morphs to Chad here. So let's pull him over a little bit. Click the plus sign, select your different sets. So I've got weight. Add them one at a time. You can turn off the child morphs, and then you can see, don't worry about the weight painting not handling it correctly. When we pull it into the engine, it will be handled correctly. So there's our weight. Let's go ahead and get his ears added and his nose. There we go. So we've got all 3 morphs now in there, and they are independent of each other. You can adjust these so that they can all be happening at the same time. We're going to set it at a base of 0 for all of it. Then we need to send and replace it back to iClone. So they're now included in our character. No, I'm not going to save that at this time. And now they are going to be listed under the character and can be morphed. But that's not what we're focused on. Instead, we're going to go to File, and export it. We're going to export the FBX. We are targeting the Unreal Engine. I don't have any animations attached, so just the current frame's all we need. Go ahead and set your max texture size to the 4096 like we did before. I'm going to tell it to hide or to delete any hidden faces so that we don't have as much showing through. Everything else should be ready to go. Let's export that. I'm exporting it to my Unreal project and Chad, and we'll save this as our FBX. Oops, go to the mail folder, save, and okay. Let it do its work. And then jump over to Unreal. If you are saving it to your folder that has your game in it, such as Unreal will automatically pop up the FBX import options. Make sure that since we have morph targets that you've got morph targets checked. This is by default not checked, so make sure that you do have that checked. Once it's ready to go, just click on import. If it asks about a data table, just simply cancel that and close. Let's jump back here to our character creation, go to our content drawer, mail, and it is still being processed. We'll give it just a second, and we can pull Chad into our scene. If you want to see Chad's controllers then that we added, you can open up the Chad asset and then scroll down about halfway down. We've got Chad's weight, ears, and nose, and those can now be adjusted. As you can see, Chad's gaining some weight there. Back off those Twinkies. We can adjust his ears and his nose as well. And as I said, these are all independent. They do not have to, you can go with either one. There we go. We've imported it. I do plan a second tutorial on how to set sliders up for working with avatars that we bring in this way. If you'd like to see the same thing in Unity or Godot or another engine, let me know in the comments. What engine would you like to see the controls for an RPG style game for, or action? It doesn't make any difference. Let me know how you'd like to, what you would like to see.